All right, all right, all right. On to the Q&A with the one and only Trentcast.
Okay. First question for you. Please tell us where you were born and raised. Tell us about yourself. Tell us your name. Just give us an introduction. Who are you? I just walked in the room. You're wearing a reddish shirt. I don't know who you are. Please tell me who you are.
Well, my good sir, my name is Forrest Wagner. I hail from Menominee, Wisconsin. Shout out to Menom Bomb. Let's see. I was born and raised in Wisconsin. I've been there like my entire life, and I got into tunes really early at a young age with my dad, listening to stuff like the Crystal Method and Prodigy and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've been living my life towards music basically since I was like 12, 13 years old, and that's been my whole MO. Anybody that knows me and has known me for any more than like 5 years can tell you that this is what I've really devoted myself to. So that's who I am. Forrest Wagner, just a kid from Wisconsin who just makes some bass music. Likes to spin a little bit too.
And you're from Wisconsin, so you love cheese, of course. That's just has to be a thing. Born and raised, Midwest. Where did your name come from? Tell us about your name. Where'd you get it? Where'd it come from? All those things, yes.
Well, my brother Morgan is here right now with us. He's over in the corner of the room over there, and he can attest to this too. The name Trentcast actually comes from my dad. His name's Kerry. Super long story short, like I said before, my dad, he got me into music at a really early age. Man, I was probably like 7, 8 years old when we were listening to Crystal Method, playing like Age of Empires and shit like that. And so back then, obviously my dad was like my biggest inspiration, my biggest influence, because I mean, he's the one that was in electronic music and showing it to me. And by 2005, I like totally knew what I wanted to do. It was make music and stuff. And so came up with quite a few names actually. First it was like a system of trance, because I used to make trance music. Actually no, when I was in middle school it was the energy of trance, TEOT, and then it was ASOT, a system of trance. And then for whatever reason I had this really weird phase where I decided to go with the name Groverfield. I don't know what the hell that was about. And then I now am Trentcast, and I've decided to go with Trentcast for a couple of reasons. Now that you know a little bit of history about my dad's gamer name, when we would do a lot of LAN gaming, his name was Trentcast, and he actually got that name from a book that he read. That was like one of his favorite books or something like that at the time. And so yeah, super long story short, my dad inspired the name Trentcast from his gamer name that we used to play with all the time. And now I have so for those of you who don't know, I have a 2-year-old son. His name's Trent, and I actually named him after my music name. So my dad helped me name myself Trentcast basically, and I named my son Trent because of the name Trentcast. So yeah, it's like the name Trent is kind of gonna stick in the family for a while now, I think.
Right, so first you were like Dr. Acronym, like how many letters can I make into a trance word? That's cool. I'm trying to remember all my I almost quit being Apparition for a while too. Thought about being Anthem and just some other random single letter words that are A's, because why? What about you, Ty? Do you have any old names for your music projects or bands too?
I was in a band called Beneath the Burning Pyre, BTBP crew. What's up? We did a lot of metal shit, and then also a band called Ask the Sky. And then I thought possibly about having my DJ name be Nobody. And then if somebody were to announce me, they'd be like, "Hi, I'm somebody," and that's Nobody. So, but I don't know. My buddy said necromancer, and I looked it up. I was like, yeah, dead people, that's cool.
Oh, that would have been really sad to introduce. This is Nobody. Like, okay, so here's the deal. You're the promoter. You have to introduce yourself, and then me is no. That would have been a fun little. I would have enjoyed watching that introduction live. Just saying. Super sick. You have to, okay. Ty needs to go back to back with somebody, as somebody back to back. Nobody's back to back with somebody, of course. Somebody's gonna be back to back with, well, nobody. Cool. Other questions. Some of this you touched on. Sounds like you started being interested in music and as a career path a very long time ago. When did you actually start putting your hands on the equipment and like buying a program or a DAW? When did all that start happening? And what programs do you use? What are you familiar with? Yeah, let's talk gear.
All right, it's my favorite subject, talking gear. All right, shout out to Korg. The very first thing I ever bought was a micro Korg. It was like a $400 synthesizer. I didn't know anything about electronic music other than just listening to it. And the Korg micro Korg, because of the way it's laid out, it's so sick. You've got your edit select knob, so if like you want to tweak the chorus, you find the chorus, and then once you've got the chorus, like once you've got that bank, then it gives like all the other knobs on the synth, it shows the option that knob is going to tweak. So that synth really helped me like physically learn how to like synthesize things. So I started learning how to make like trance pluck synthesizers when I was like 14, 15 years old. Korg makes some awesome stuff. My grandpa actually, he rocks a Korg is it the X50? What does he got? I don't know. My grandpa rocks some pretty cool stuff too. What was the other question? Sorry. Oh yeah. Mixing probably. Honestly, from the time I was like 13 to 18 was just such a blur as far as learning how to. I've self-taught myself everything, so I can't really pinpoint when and where I learned something. I've just been picking it all up as I go. And I'm nowhere near I don't know everything. I mean, there's guys out there that are way better than me. I mean, just like these two guys, these guys are way fucking better than me at DJing. Yeah, they shake their heads, but they are way good. By the way, Menominee friends, if you guys don't know these guys, it's Eric Okerman, Tyler, I cannot remember your last name, Hawkinson, that's right, yep. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Necromancer and Apparition, if you guys don't know them, get to know them ASAP. These guys they're amazing musicians and they're amazing people. This is family out here, guys. It's really cool. But getting more onto gear. Now I am using Ableton. It's just awesome because we're in like an Ableton certified school. That's really cool. I'm kind of home right now. So I started off with Fruity Loops actually, and then like when I was 16, I made the transition to Pro Tools. I hated Pro Tools. I don't know if anyone likes that, but it is a pain in the ass. It's a straight editing software, so I used to love Pro Tools, but that was when I was using it. Yeah. Well, then I made the switch from Pro Tools to Ableton, and I've been with Ableton since. That was like 2008, 2009. I can't remember. I've been with Ableton for so long. And then this last year, I just picked up Reason. So now I run the two rewires slave to each other. It's like, it's just too cool. I could go on for hours alone about how that works, but oh man, but you use them both together. Such a powerhouse. It is such a powerhouse. And Maelstrom, a lot of my homies will know Maelstrom. That's the main, like a lot of the rhythm that we listen to, guaranteed most of it's made on that synthesizer Maelstrom, which is in Reason, and it's only native to Reason. You can't get it anywhere else. So pretty much as of like 6 months ago, all the tunes that I make, as far as that grimy bass line goes, that's all been made in Maelstrom. Used to use Massive pretty heavily, and I'm sure everybody here knows Massive. Massive is an awesome software, can't deny it. But I think there was more to that question. I just keep rambling.
Gear though, yeah, holy cow. I started touching DJ equipment. Ooh, sounds sensual. No, I went out and bought a controller in 2010 after discovering some electronic music, and then everything just kind of happened from then till now, I guess. Ty, when did you start DJing, and what equipment were you using?
I probably also started DJing closer to around I think 2000 13, and I used a EDJ on my cell phone. And then I got a DDJ-SX, played on that for 2 days by Pioneer, and then I played my first show. Yeah, the EDJ, if you're watching, sponsor me. I love your app. I want to use it all the time. It's a great app. Just like fix all the quirks on it. I don't want to pay $1 for it at all.
Sick, EDJ. Phone apps. There's so many little like DJ things now out there. There's a DJ Hero. There's that's a video game. I've never seen it played, but like there's a million programs. Yep, VDJing. All those little like iPad DJ apps now. It's crazy. But a lot of it is really fun and just gets people. If you want to get involved and start, you don't always have to like go buy some crazy expensive gear. Just get involved, buy some little application, and then see if you actually like mixing, because it becomes really fun as you get better at it. Okay, moving on. Other things to talk about. So who are some artists or producers or DJs that have really inspired you? I know, at least personally, like pretty much the main reason that I got so much more into electronic music specifically for my other musical things was because of seeing like new styles or new things, or like, wow, this guy's playing really heavy stuff and I've never heard that before. Who are some people who've inspired you?
Well, definitely to kick it off right away, like I said right from the get-go tonight, that Crystal Method was definitely a huge influence on me. I mean, that's, if anybody knows Crystal Method, that's some really fucking weird electronic music. So that'll open your eyes to what electronic music's really about. And then moving on, it was 2005, like I said, when I really truly got into music and was like, yep, this is it. And that was Armin van Buuren. Armin van Buuren was the guy who was like Armin only, man. And actually, when I was saying earlier, I used to go by ASOT, A System of Trance. The reason I stopped that is because Armin has his show ASOT, a State of Trance. So I was like, yep, nope, not doing this anymore. But yeah, no, Armin van Buuren, man, he definitely. My dad did as much as he could, but man, Armin, even just from YouTube, really lifted my spirits on wanting to make music. So Armin van Buuren definitely has my biggest shout out. If it wasn't for that guy, I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing. But now that I'm in the dubstep scene, I would have to say, man, since getting into rhythm, man, Requake and Badclate, those are my favorite. Requake and Badclate all the way. Right now, I'm addicted to Minzo and AD, and AD is just too dope. Buke's Finest, man, the whole Monsters crew, the Akatsuki crew. There's a lot of the smaller crews that I got to make a quick shout out for, like the Shinigami, my homies Kristen Nips, and like guys like Ryuk and Rem. These guys make some awesome tunes, and they're on the up and up. We got another crew called the Demons. That's what my buddy Tony Lee is. Shout out Tony, I love you, homie. My buddy Tony's in that group, and they're on the up and up too. Same thing with my buddy Ra, who I think is still listening in. Dez, you better fucking be in here, man. Yeah, man. It used to be like just the big names that would inspire me, like, you know, Armin van Buuren, Ferry Corsten, going on a dubstep, you know, Requake, Badclate. But as of last year, I'd say now my inspirations are definitely the smaller guys. Like you guys, local guys who make music. I want to shout out to like, dude, I can't even think right now. There's so many. Like my crew, the Martians crew, Mike and Tony, Trips and Microdot and Apollo, Crestside. These guys, I mean, these guys are like my main inspirations now. I mean, I talk to them. We teach each other about making music. We learn about music from each other, and I couldn't be more blessed to be a part of that. So I really have to kind of put my hands up to those guys more than the big names, because I mean the big names were there for what they were there for, but these little guys that are on the up and up, man, it's really cool to see these guys just start from the very, very bottom, you know, and then learning. A lot of them are doing it like I was doing, you know, just learning on their own and going as they go. So that to me is way cooler than already being on the top. You know, working your way up to the top is probably a lot more, what's the word here? Yeah, gratifying. Yeah. Like Drake, you know? Yeah, just like Drake, started from the bottom.
And now we're here.
And yeah, now we're here.
Started from Degrassi, now we here. Started from Canada, now we here. Who are my inspirations? Who's the number one? Okay, the first. Okay, into electronic music. We're gonna limit it to that, not previous music. Okay, I think I can confidently say the first dubstep things that I heard were by this dude called Optimus Grime. And it was like my friend Luke showed me in his car when we were in like going to pre-college when we were in high school, and because we were listening to a bunch of metal, he was like that metal friend who was like, oh dude, you gotta check this shit out because it's super crazy. And I was only into whatever the radio was playing, which is stupid. Don't do that. Go look for things. Don't just let other people give it to you. If you like something, go and find it. Anyways, yeah, Optimus Grime. It was I think he's from like Australia or somewhere really far away, but that was like right, Australian stuff is cool because it is. So that was like the first dubstep thing I heard, and then just got roped into all that UK sound that was coming out. Circus Crew, all that old Datsik what was I about to say? Excrillion or like Excrilsion? The Excrilsion. That's a beautiful name. All right, Datsision or something, right? No. All those guys, now they're record label founders, but then they were just producers before. Let's see who else. Now much more in love with like all the deep medi sounds, all the dudes who are ripping vinyl and on that chop and grind. A lot of people who are kind of underground, but a lot of them are getting really big exposure to, like, they had some events like Rampage, which just happened last Saturday, I think it was. A lot of kind of underground dubsteppy people and producers that have been killing it for a really, really long time, but don't really get to have big, giant 15,000 person arenas to play to. Usually they're playing tiny little clubs for specific crews, but a lot of this electronic music is getting bigger because of the collectives and the groups that people are forming. Like Forrest is just talking about all these underground guys who are banding together and like pushing a sound or a style together, and that's really cool to see. Yeah, old people that got me into that. Cool. Next questions. Name off some venues that you played at. Any favorites? Favorite places that you've played and why? Or vice versa, devil's advocate. Are there any places that you played that were terrible and why were they terrible? Dun dun dun. Hey, we're not playing at Slam Academy is terrible. No, it's great, but it's the bomb. So tell me about the good and the bad and all the in between.
All right, well, first off, with the bad, I'm not going to say which venue was the worst I ever DJ'd at because not only do I not want to, well, I don't even have, I haven't even played that many venues to begin with, but I will shed light on probably one of the worst sets I've ever played live. My favorite place to play is hands down. It's a tie between, and these are really the only ones that I have played other than like Amp and the Wausau show. I played Wausau, yeah. February 16th. No, Apple Country. If you know Apple Country at all. I can't remember where was that. Where the hell was that? It was the Speakeasy at Wausau. Yeah, that was actually a really cool place. It's smaller. It's smaller, but they've got a nice setup in the back. I like that. But by far, it's a tie between main stage at the Loft and Studio B Skyway. Studio B, it gets lit. Studio B is way fun. Apparently, that's Studio B is the only stage this guy has not played, and that surprises me a lot. That's crazy. We got to get you on. Oh yeah, I suppose. It is fun. It is. If you got the booth monitor, I mean. But that one can get packed pretty nice and quick. Yeah, okay. So by far my favorite set that I ever played was probably New Year's Eve. I don't know why. It was just that one was so crazy. Something about the fact that I got to announce the new year and then start a set, and then it's just like there was 10 people on stage, and it was just an immaculate set. Every transition was smooth, and but by far the worst set I ever played was with Travis T-Rex on main stage. He invited me to. There wasn't any slots, so I didn't get slotted for it. But he invited me to share his slot opening for Getter, and I just fucked that up so bad. It was terrible. It was so embarrassing. Dude, that was like the worst set I've ever played. And even Travis was like, dude, what happened? And I'm like, dude, I have no clue. No, we were back at Paul and Tanner's house, Ludium and Dreamhate. We were back at their place, and I was mixing after that. And he's like, dude, where was this when we were at the loft? Or where was this? Like, it's just, yeah, you just get those days where you're not on your aim game. I don't know what it is. Why did I do that? I don't know. Hey, what about you guys? What about your favorite sets, worst set, favorite venue, worst venue? It looks like we got quite a bit of time here to go for a bit.
Also, the slam, they don't really ever make us leave, so we could talk for a little while. We could hang on and talk for a little while. It's okay. Okay, favorite and least favorite venues to have played at. Favorite venue. I mean, I've been blessed enough to play at every room in Skyway now. Thank you, TC, and all those people who've actually given me some unbelievable opportunities twice now. Main stage. First time was Halloween 2014. Played right before this guy, back-to-back. He played back-to-back with Johnny Foreplay. Here was the lineup for that stage. It's Halloween, Skyway main stage. There was one guy called Havoc before me who played a whole bunch of different tempos, not in order. And it was like, okay, I can follow this. This is going to be great. Antic Studios was doing 3D projection visuals. Like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that I was playing on this stage for like hundreds and hundreds of people. So Skyway Main has been one of the coolest experiences of my life. But the best gig by far that I've ever had was Infrasound, easily, because of the vibes and the people who are there. And Function One systems. That's the only time I've played on Function One so far. Yet.
Hoping for more of that. Cross your fingers. Thursday lineup. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's a blessing every time. It sounds so good. So that's the best gig for sure, was Infrasound. The people, the vibes, the whole build-up. It was like the best point in my life too, so it all just worked out really great. Worst, oh man, that's honestly tough to think about. It'd have to be. I haven't really done a whole lot of out-of-state gigging at all, so there's nothing like, I played at some tiny bar that was whatever. Actually, you know what? I can think of it. I played. Oh man, a couple of years ago, someone is. Oh, thank you. Here, hold on. There you go. We dab for you on BASSment Jam. We dab for you. Oh, thanks, dog. Let's see. Oh yeah, the worst gig was a couple of years ago. A friend of mine, Brandon, who loves psytrance. Much love, Brandon. He booked me at this place that in his hometown, which was like a couple hours north, some tiny little city that I'd never heard of, kind of by Duluth. And it was one of those, like, we were playing at like a youth center, so it was like, hey, get people come in and you can do your homework or play video games or play, and then they like, we conveniently have a little sound system with some lighting and stuff. And not only were there maybe 3 or 4 people throughout the entire extent of the evening, but the one dude who was there with his girlfriend, and like I played last out of these 3 people who came up to play, and this dude who was like shooting pool to the right side of the stage with his girlfriend was like, hey, will you guys like turn it off now and like will you play something else? It was like harassing us vocally, and it was like, so we all just got really frustrated and did that. We stopped at some point because there was no one there anyways, and it wasn't very fun. That was the worst gig ever. Ty, best and worst.
I probably have 2 of my favorite shows I played. One of the favorite shows I played was the 2014 Halloween show. Played with Johnny Foreplay, big ups Johnny Foreplay, and we went back to back before Trolley Snatcha, which after him was Prototype and then was Dr. P. Yeah, so that was the biggest show I've ever gotten to play. I've never gotten to play for thousands of people before, so that was cool. And then on top of that, Trolley Snatcha also said big ups Necromancer and Johnny Foreplay, which was a cool thing to hear. I was like, what? And then the other show that's probably, I mean, Halloween has really done a lot of good things for me. Our last Halloween, this 2015, going back to back with Eric here, was probably one of the funnest shows I've played. It was just like a really good time. I made Eric stage dive. He was all into it for a second, and then all of a sudden, before it happened, he was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And I was like, dude, you got to do it. And he's like, okay, I'm doing it. And it was cool. I mean, he's like smaller than me and weighs less than me, so there's no way nobody can't lift him. So, and I'm skinny as shit. So, those are cool. Some of the worst shows that I've ever played would probably be like, I don't know. I don't think I've had any really bad shows where I didn't enjoy playing, because I always try to keep in mind that I know I've done poorly, or actually no. I know now. I found it. I found it deep in my brain. It was this after party at this kid's house that I won't name, where I ended up super fucking tanked. Like, I shouldn't swear so much probably. I ended up really hammered, and I was blacked out for a number of hours. Around 7 o'clock in the morning, I kind of came to and realized that I was actually DJing. And I looked at my hands and I listened to what was playing. I was like, this isn't good. So I just turned it off and then packed all my stuff up, and yeah, I left. I was like, I gotta get out of here. It was bad.
Oh my God. That sounds... That's when you just wheel it and go, I'm sorry. And then you leave. And then everyone goes, thanks for leaving, because that was bad. Anyways, wow. Some really cool stories that we're hearing. Best shows, worst shows. Okay, the other stuff I have here for questions is also looking forward into the future. Do you have some goals for this year or the next few years coming up for yourself and your music? Life goals, music goals. Also, somebody was asking you if you have some collaborations in the works, if you can spill the beans about anything, or anything you're excited to tell us about for the future coming up.
All right, I'll try and start at the top again. What was your first question? Goals for 2016. All right. Well, actually, when we were doing story time there for a second, I looked over at Tyler and I spoke my goal to him real quick. My biggest goal right now is to play main stage Skyway. That is my biggest goal for 2016. I would really like to get up there for main stage and just rock a huge show. That would be I could die and go to heaven at that point. The dreams will basically have been lived by that point, so I could be happy and die then. I'm just kidding. No, I don't want to die. I want to live. I want to keep going. Collabs in the making. I know I'm skipping a question here. Goals for the next couple of years. Well, I suppose going farther out than playing Loft or playing the main stage at the Skyway. I think some big goals would be to travel and play. Get asked to go play Montreal and have the whole trip paid for. That's a goal. That's a huge goal. Montreal would be dope. Shout out to my boy Chemist. He's already got to play it. I can't remember if he played it or he's playing it, but I know my boy Michael Chemist. He got picked up by the Akatsuki Akatsuki, and they're flying him out to Montreal. So I hope someday that I can do that and do that for my Martians brethren. I'd love to be able to take Mike and Tony and Cresta and take them with me and have a Martians show, just like the Monsters and the Akatsuki do, you know. Yep, collabs. Okay, so there's this girl that I've been doing a collab with, actually. Her name's Lou. Lule. I know, I'm pretty sure she's not tuning in with us. She's got some stuff going on with her internet right now, which kind of sucks. I'd love for her to be checking this out right now. But Lule, she's an awesome chick, and she is from the UK, and we're putting together a pretty deep, but at the same time kind of like upbeat, wonky chop kind of tune. And I was gonna try to have it done for tonight, actually, but that didn't happen. One tune that is definitely coming out really soon that I really am excited about because it sounds just so nutty, and I just put out a video of it like yesterday or something. It's a remix of Illudium's track Batausai. His original is just too crazy, so I had to make a remix of it, and it sounds really, really cool. I've got like 2 or 3 Maelstroms routed into each other for like 6 filters, and that's the bassline sound. So it's a really weird sound. It sounds really cool. It's on Facebook. It's on my page somewhere. Here, we'll pop it up after the interview or something, because you'll like it. The sound is just, it's got that slappy kind of sound. When I played that Deemed and Infect track, the Enemy by Infect. Oh man, it's got that slappiness to it. Collabs. I'm trying to think of another one. I know the Martians we're all thinking about doing another big collab, like the 4 of us doing another collab. Because the first one we did, man, that one's, I don't know if you guys have seen the stats on that. I don't really follow stats a whole lot, but the stats on this one just blow my mind. It's the 4 of us made this track, and it's got 6,000 plays on it already, something like that. And we've been asked multiple times to put out another, like, you know, all Martians collab, because they're always so nutty. We've all got our own like really unique flavor, and when you mosh it all together, it's just this weird dinner of dubstep. Yeah, it's really cool. Like that, the one that we did was really, really nutty. I think as far as collabs go, that's pretty much it. Something to look forward to as far as original stuff goes. I'm getting really close to 2,000 followers on SoundCloud, so I'm going to be putting together a 2K EP for free, naturally. So that's going to be a pretty big deal, because I want to have at least like 4 or 5 originals with a remix and a collab on it. So at least like 6, 7 tracks, almost like a mini album, not an EP. You know, I want it to be worth it. You know, not this. The last time I put out an EP, it was the Kepler EP, and there was 2 tracks on it. That was like the couple. Yeah, the Kepler coupler. Yeah, like 3 minutes per song, something like that. So. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I would really like to get on a collab with Apparition here on some deep stuff at some point, and that's gonna happen at some point. And when it does, you guys be ready, because that's gonna be some heavy but deep stuff. And I'm actually just proposing this idea right now.
So yeah, yes to your offer. I'll do that. Sounds great. Shit, that'd be fucking cool. That was all my questions I have for now. So many good things. This is really fun. I think we should do interviews every time with our featured artist. Right. No, this is our first interview, and we're having a lot of fun. Oh yes. Most certainly. Yes. Forrest and I will collab soon, and it will get played here. I guarantee it. There's no way I won't. Thanks again, everybody tuning in. Closing thoughts, if you want to say anything to anybody who is listening. Tune in next week. New guests will be here again at Slam. Now that we got everything just down to a T. Oh, feels so good to just have our stream working just absolutely perfect this time. Everything looks great. Thank you again and again and again to all the Slam Academy people who have helped us. If you're watching the stream, you can see some information scrolling across the top of the screen.
They have Slam is mainly focused on a lot of their online content for teaching classes. If you want to learn more about producing music, especially in Ableton, go check out Slam Academy. They will love you. And they just take really good care of everybody who's here. It's such a cool, small, unique space, and we are running into the same people every time we come here. Aspiring musicians, DJs, all kinds of people involved in music. Old former lovers, your mother's ex-girlfriend's father's sister's belated friend. They were here too. I met them. They were all right. Right, the guy from Spaceballs, he was here. Yes. Finishing comments, saying hi to friends, family. Shout out to all the people in the chat. I'm going to hand this off to Forrest here.
All right, so I guess, yeah, I do have just like one little last piece that I would like to, hey, thanks, man. Big ups. Just a real quick message for a lot of the younger guys who are just starting, who have only been in this for a couple of years. It's pretty evident if you look around you that if you just stick to it and you don't give up and you keep doing what you do, and no matter what obstacles you face, and you just keep doing what you got to do. Don't be afraid to drive 2-3 towns over if you got to. You know, take bookings when you get them. Do what you got to do and just keep growing in your own music. It's not hard at all. It's really simple. You just go out, meet people, engage, respect people the way you want to be respected, treat people fairly and kindly, and just enjoy the music, be a bass head, and you'll get right into a community if you're not already in one. And if you are already in one, don't let go of it, man. Stick to it and keep going with that. And I don't mean to be too melancholy or what's the word? Too sappy, but seriously, I mean, I have to kind of toot my own horn here a little bit. Like, I would not be playing these shows and doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for help, but mostly for, you know, my own. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm battling a personal anxiety of driving on the interstate and actually getting myself to these shows. So that was like my biggest thing against getting any shows and doing anything with my music, because I was just kind of afraid to leave town and experience the world. But man, if you just put all your fears behind you, just drop everything and just go, just do what you got to do, just fucking do it, like Shia LaBeouf would say. Then anything's possible. I mean, I don't need to preach at you. You know that just as well as I do. Look at people like Armin van Buuren and Infect and AD. You know, these guys did what we're all doing. They started off small and worked their way up. Just real quick, I got to make some shout-outs before we wrap it up here. I got to make some shout-outs, like I said, to the Shinigami crew. You guys are awesome. You guys have been pretty much like a second Martians fam to me. Same thing with my boy Tony and the Demons and Raw. You know, all these smaller crews, like, we're all a family. We're all just this big, huge family community, and it's really, 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 really something to be a part of this with you guys. So I'm really blessed to interact with all of you and know you, even though a lot of us are like in different states, we're in different countries, we're in different time zones. I mean, for some of you, it might be like 4 in the morning, and I don't even know. But yeah, it's just really cool that this whole, like, the whole world is in this, you know, like you guys, and there's people in Cali who are tuning in and stuff like that. I'm kind of rambling at this point. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to say. But yeah, no, biggest shout out goes to my dad and my mom, my parents, man. They believed in me all through high school and middle school, and never told me once that I wasn't going to be a rock star. So I got to give it up to my parents for pushing behind me to allow me to do what I'm doing. And, you know, my mom makes posts about me, like, every time I play a show. She's, oh, my son, my baby's playing a show. And as cheesy as that is, it's really cool to see my mom supporting what I do. So I got to give a big, huge shout out to my mom and dad. I love you guys. You guys, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you two. And Morgan can attest to that. So, yeah, I guess much love to everybody who stuck out with us the whole night and is still here checking out what we're saying. We've got, I don't know, quite a few people saying some stuff. I'm just rambling again, so I'm going to give the mic off to Apparition. Or Tyler.
I'm gonna take it from Apparition and Trent, the cast of the 10 Cats. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you really enjoyed the show tonight. We're gonna be back next Tuesday doing this again with a new guest, and we will also be interviewing again, and we will try to get our chat up on the board so everybody, even who can't write in the chat, can see the chat. And I'm glad that this went so smoothly, and I hope you guys have a great night. And this was Redline Reload BASSment Jams with Apparition and N3CROMANC3R featuring Trentcast.